Welcome to Real Talk with Reginald D's motivational, coaching, question, and answer segment. I'm your motivational coach, Reginald D. This is a place where your faith gets louder, your purpose gets clear, and we break every chain trying to hold us back. Today, we're diving into a question I believe is paralyzing too many of you purpose-driven people out there. It's called self-doubt. I received a question from one of my listeners, and it states, Reginald D, how do I stop doubting myself when I know God has given me a calling? But I keep second guessing if I'm even worthy or capable of walking in it. First, I want to thank you for your question. Now, I hope this hits home for a lot of you. Let's dive in. Self-doubt is the kind of doubt that whispers you're not good enough, you're not ready, you're not qualified. Well, here's what I want you to understand right out of the gate. Self-doubt is not the voice of reason. It's the echo of fear, and we're about to shut it down. Self-doubt didn't start with you. It was planted. Sometimes by what people said, sometimes by what they didn't say, sometimes by trauma, rejection, or your own inner critic. Self-doubt is a seed, but you don't have to water it. Now let's rewind. When I was first called to minister, speak, and to inspire, I looked at myself like, God, me? You sure? Because I had baggage. I had brokenness. But God said, yes, you. Because I don't call the qualified. I qualify the call. Self-doubt makes you rehearse failure before you even try. I received a message and it said, Reginald D, I've got a dream. I know God gave it to me, but I keep hesitating. What if I fail? Here's my answer. What if you fly? What if your story saves someone else's life? What if that hesitation is just fear dressed up as logic? You don't need hype. You need truth. And the truth is, God doesn't make mistakes. Who told you you were not enough? Who told you you weren't ready? You see, we let people speak fear into us that doesn't even belong. 2 Timothy 1st chapter 7 verse says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So if fear and doubt don't come from him, why are you letting them live rent-free in your mind? Imagine a bird learning to fly. It doesn't wait for perfection. It jumps. Its wings get stronger in the air, not on the ground. Some of you are waiting to feel ready, but purpose isn't about feelings. It's about faith. You're stuck. You're stalling, but it's time to jump. Now let's get practical, because breakthroughs don't just come from inspiration. They come from implementation. I'm going to give you 5 tools to help silence self-doubt. First, recognize the lie. Every time that voice in your head says, I can't, stop and ask, is this truth or is this trauma? Second, replace it with scripture. You need a faith-based arsenal. Romans 8 chapter 37 verse says, we are more than conquerors. That's not just a verse. It's your identity. Third, reflect on God's track record. Start a faithfulness journal and write down every time God showed up when you didn't think he would. Fourth, take small actions. You don't need to wait until fear disappears. Start scared and move forward anyway. And finally, speak life daily. Your words shape your world. Every morning declare, I am chosen. I am equipped. I am walking in divine assignment. Because the more you speak like you believe it, the more you start walking like it's already done. I am chosen. I am equipped. I am walking in divine assignment. Did you know that the enemy always attacks what threatens him most? Self-doubt is a distraction sent to derail your destiny. You're not called to be comfortable. You're called to grow. And when God gives you a vision, he provides the grace, the grit, and the guidance. Picture this. You walk into a room filled with fear, shame, doubt, critics. But God stands behind you and says, that's my child. I put fire in them. I put purpose in them. I put legacy in them. Now walk like you own the room, because he already gave you the authority. Here's your challenge for the week ahead. Apply for the opportunity. Write the book. Start the podcast. Say no to the lie and say yes to the calling. Now I want you to say this and declare it daily. If God called me, he's going to carry me. I'm feeling this right now. To the person thinking they feel overwhelmed by their calling, I hear you. You're not doubting because you're weak. You're doubting because you care. But let me tell you, greatness is heavy because it wasn't meant to be comfortable. It was meant to stretch you. You feel nervous. That's confirmation you're stepping into new territory. Even Moses said to God, I can't speak well. What if they don't believe me? But God responded, who made your mouth? I'll be with you. God never asked for perfection. He just asked for obedience. I heard a story once about a guy who wanted to start a business, but he kept comparing himself to others. He finally said, forget the noise. He launched, and now he's thriving in a lane that's 100% his. Now you ask, what's the lesson I get from that story? Your lesson is, God doesn't bless imitation. He blesses originality. Now it's time for us to go deeper. Real talk right here. Your mind is where the war is. Just because the thought shows up doesn't mean you have to accept the invitation. Write this down. If it doesn't align with God's promises, it doesn't get a seat at the table. Stand in front of your mirror today and say, I am not my past. I am not my mistake. I am chosen. I am prepared. I am walking in purpose. Sometimes the most powerful voice you need to hear is your own. Let me put this down real clear. You're not an imposter. You're the answer. You are somebody's answered prayer. You are the voice they've been waiting to hear. You are the breakthrough God is sending into the room. So let me say this again. You are not disqualified. You are destined. I want you to do 3 things this week. Write down every lie you believed and burn it. Record a voice memo speaking life over yourself. And do one bold thing you've been avoiding. Tag me, message me, let me know what you're stepping into. I want to thank my listeners for their question. This wasn't just an episode. This was a spiritual wake-up call. From this day forward, we're silencing self-doubt and walking in destiny. When fear knocks again, say it with me. Not today. I got purpose to walk in. Now, don't forget to send your questions to me at rsherman@realtalkwithreginald.com or visit my website at realtalkwithreginald.com. And make sure to share this episode with someone who is struggling with this right now. That's it for today's episode, fam. I'm going to remind you, God didn't create you to fit in. He created you to break patterns, walk boldly, and shift atmospheres. Until next time, stay real, stay rooted, keep walking in your calling. See you next time.